Let's get in. Plays remarkably.
When you qualify to these sort of events, you always look towards the stars, but for both of these teams, it has been going nothing but wrong. Shogun here, joined by Johnny, and we're stuck here with two teams, Johnny. I wish this major was going any other way.
That's a very negative way to look at it.
It's been a negative start.
We're going to find out very soon which one of these teams is stuck in there with the other one, and who is stuck with a wrong prediction on the analyst desk. Cash trying to make a statement early on, but that will be defended well. A key for Pioneers defending a player like Cash, of course, is to get a couple of players between him and the net. One of them challenging early, one of them ready to react to Cash when he inevitably outplays the first challenge.
You know, as well, since we are bringing the crowd in very shortly, there's a lot of things happening right now where I'm sure a lot of fans out there are thinking, oh, I'd rather Quadrant get through. I want to, cheer on Landon Oz's team. But Pioneers, they don't get through. We can't do a banana head chant. Like,
it's a tough one. I mean,
it is. We
Pioneers,
still haven't heard the banana head chant live.
We have not heard of it. It's a shame. There are about 10 of them. There's never been a player in Rocket League with more chants pre-written for the final day when he shows up on the big stage, qualifies for the main event of an RLCS major or World Championship. Quadrant want none of that. Pioneers probably looking with envy at the success of their regional counterparts, Power, who have just taken their second win of the day. Second win of the tournament, I should say, sitting pretty at 2-1. That's a nice little cut off there by Relating Wave. Looks like Quadrant are not bulletproof to start this match. They definitely do have that star quality. Ixo hasn't really made as much of an impact as we know he can. Banana Head make that move. Oh, great 50-50, but the dem on the recovery by Relating Wave, and even better to not run through the ball and own goal like we see so many do in that position.
Relating Wave probably up there with players that really need a big performance. When you look towards Cash and Ixo, they've got time. This doesn't need to be the greatest tournament ever for them. But for Relating Wave, there's suddenly a word that's getting cropped up around him recently, which is onliner.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he would love to shed that as quickly as possible.
Well, he's the only European to make all of the international events that have happened since the Open era started. He's also not had many moments to really write home about. I think his peak was probably at this very tournament a year ago at the Fall Major. And he took down NRG at the time, NA's #1 team. Since then, not really a lot has gone right for Relating Wave. He's of course qualified for these events online. He's done a fantastic job landing himself in rosters that can make these events time and time again. I think it's just inside his own head at this point. He's a good player. I think his playstyle should work on LAN as well. I don't think he's got a bad playstyle for LAN at all.
It's steadfast. It should be the consistent part of the squad.
Yes, very solid and just very consistent. We see that working so well for teams like Carmine Corp, but I think it's just inside his own head. He needs that one good result, and this could be it. Cash with a nice snipe to put them up by 1.
There was a sigh on the opposite side from Scrub the moment that one went in. Cannot afford to let the heads dip this early on. It is 1 goal, 2 minutes 20 left on the clock. Quadrant, though, looking to try and make it over to the crowd days. And that was the setting that we put up at the start of this tournament. You just needed 1 match win, and you get to make it in front of the crowd. Oh, Cash!
Whoa.
He's outdone all of them!
Well, what on earth has happened here? Kickoff goes towards Quadrant, but Pioneers they've aired the ball. I mean, that is just a massive misplay to miss the ball completely in that position. Of course, Cash is flying behind it. You know you've got to be fast and you've got to beat into it, but it looked like the job was done there, and then the player just flew right by. They're going to maybe get some kickoff revenge. No, the shot's not good enough. I want to also point out, Ixo did very well to set up that play that just happened for Cash. It's not going to work past Relating Wave. Pioneers still hunting a goal. Yeah, notice whenever 2 teams close cheat on the kickoff. Oh dear, another miss for Pioneers. I've not even got any time to talk about Ixo's brilliance because Pioneers can't stop missing the ball. What on earth is this?
After a day like yesterday for both these teams, when you're coming into this without a win, it was all going to be about the reset. You are up against a team that is in a similar spot to you, and you wanted to take the front step forward.
Oh my goodness.
Instead, Pioneers have taken 1, 2, 3, 4 steps back.
You know, this might sound crazy, but this might be a mistake from Quadrant. They've hard read the kickoff there. Ixo realized exactly what Pioneers have been doing the last few kickoffs, and he's countered it with a later approach, a little bit of a higher hit on the ball to dunk it straight down the middle, over the top of the close shooting player. But why use that when you're already winning by 3? They could have saved that till later on, surprise him with it, and maybe catch them off guard in a moment in a tie game. But yeah, that's obviously me just nitpicking. Quadrant are up by 4. Can't really complain about that, can we? No. But Pioneers have got plenty to fix. They just keep missing, and this is unlike them. The confidence is just completely gone. It's a team that were full of confidence last season, and right now, just look at the faces. They're down 5-0. They have yet to win a game at this event, and they're not going to win this one.
On their opposite side, Relating Wave positively beaming after that last goal went in. This is an important minute and a half as well for Quadrant, because it's probably the only minute and a half they're going to have in this tournament that they can relax a little bit in, where they can get comfortable with the surroundings around, which they have not done up until this point. Ixo on the board. Starting to realize that maybe it's not as difficult as he's made it out to be in his own head. Cash clears yet again, Relating Wave. Oh! There you go, he deserved it. Oh, I'm going to position that post needs to be a little bit wider.
That was a great touch by Relating Wave.
That was a confident touch.
A very deft impact point on the ball. They're going to get 1, Pioneers, on the board. There is not a lot of time left, but they're doing a lot of talking here. I think this is probably just a moment where they can at least talk to each other and think, what are we doing wrong? What is going on? Let's just get our heads up. I mean, we've missed the ball twice. They've scored a kickoff goal for 2, 3, and 4. And, you know, if they could just get the simple stuff right, I think they're in a decent matchup here. Hold on, they might actually have more opportunities. It looks like Quadrant not interested in giving them anything interesting to play for at the end of this one. Like I was trying to say earlier, you know, Quadrant have done well this game. They've controlled Pioneers in every aspect of this. They've, you know, put them in positions where mistakes can happen. It's not mistakes that you'd think would happen at this level, especially not from a proven team like Pioneers, but they can happen. This is a high pressure situation. You win or you go home, and Quadrant right now have been by far the more consistent of the two teams.
Well, in best of 5s, we do not have access to the timeout. It was as good as towards the last stages of this game. Both teams able to just talk it through. Some important talks as well, because you can talk all you want before you sit down at those computers. Suddenly, once the series gets started, it all feels that little bit different. Quadrant 1. Your opponents very much needing to find the answer. For the Pioneers, it will just be go next. Unfortunately,
yeah,
Johnny, it's been go next for a little bit too long now. It was go next yesterday in round 1. It was go next yesterday in round 2. You can't really go next anymore.
Yeah, a little bit of a nervous nibble and a hoodie there from KCP. I mean, that was one of the crazy misses that you really don't expect to see. Well finished by Cash, of course, but what is happening with the miss before that? And Quadrant, of course, just running up the score. But yeah, Pioneers, a bit careless on a couple of the kickoffs. Bit careless on a couple of the overhead clears. Apart from that, we would have had a 1-1 game or a 2-1 game for Quadrant. So it's just it's fixing simple mistakes for Pioneers. But until they do fix the simple mistakes, I don't really think Quadrant have to take any risks. Just get players behind the ball and wait for those mistakes to happen. Because if they're happening in game 1, then you know you'd think that they continue to happen in games 2 and 3 as well. The pressure's not going to get any better for them. Pioneers 0-7 in games at this event. Is this the one? They finally get a win.
All-important win to send you through to tomorrow's matches. Get yourself in front of that crowd and just soak up that experience. You know, for the Pioneers, they're in London. They got missed out on that a little bit. You would have liked it, but again, there's no one available to run onto a challenge for KCP. Instead, they're scrambling back, and Archie's just too far forward.
Did Super Lucky think that he's got a flip or something? Did he think Cash still had a flip to work with? I'm just baffled. I don't know what he's doing driving forward like that.
I just saw the end of the name, but I went with that.
It's like a Super Archie.
Super
Archie's in these 3-0. He's already through Swiss.
I mean, it has been Super Archie this event.
Absolutely has. Super Lucky. I mean, that was super lackadaisical. He just drove forward and did absolutely nothing while watching Cash put the ball over his head. You know, advancing wasn't a terrible idea because Cash didn't have a flip. He was just air dribbling the ball back down to the ground. He doesn't have a flip in that position. I think Super Lucky must have known that. But why he didn't jump up to challenge as Cash was on the downward trajectory is beyond me. I mean, this is just more and more question marks from the Pioneers.
Pioneers, their worst work has actually come when they're in offense, because it's the transition back over. It's like they don't want to admit when their turn is over. Have to begrudgingly accept it, and by the time they are back, the damage has been done. Cash unmarked for the longest time. And there is the example, a gallery of goals for Cash.
Too much time, too much space, and too much of the goal to aim at. Cash snipes the far post perfectly. And that one you can't really blame the keeper, but where's the midfield pressure? Where's the cohesion in defense? The rotation from Pioneers, with so many gaps in it. Well, they might get one off the kickoff here. Is that going to go in? No, it's between a shot and a pass, and it ends up being good to be neither. Quadrant remain 2 goals ahead. Pioneers probably should have had one there. They finally got the better of Quadrant on a kickoff. Quadrant have done a fantastic job. I was trying to talk about it earlier before Pioneers just started missing the ball consistently. But Quadrant, every time Pioneers come away with the ball and kickoff, you'll notice that the player who cheated up close turns around and pressures it. They're not giving anyone a free touch. That's really hindered Pioneers in the 5 or 10 seconds after kickoffs happen.
Now off the backboard, the best opportunity they're going to have in a while. Save. I don't think the shot's going to quite dip down in time. There's nobody in the midfield either, but look at the amount of time it takes for Pioneers to still get somebody onto it. They still get it back to Banana Head underneath him. And I think what we just saw is a good example of the point I was trying to make earlier on, Johnny. Spelunky just in the midfield. He was in the area, but he was not relevant in the area. He had to turn himself back around, give up the possession. It's too tight on the rotation. There's no room for error.
You know, it's bizarre to see. You've got to think it's mental, because this is a team who just halfway through this calendar year were sweeping BDS out of a London major. That's you know, just a short 40-minute flight away from where we are now in the Netherlands. But the Pioneers who have shown up, they just can't produce the same quality. I've, you know, heard that they are not feeling confident at all. Practice has not been all that great. They've, you know, come in as the 2nd best team in the region in terms of recent results. #1 seed, but that's off the back of winning Regional 1. The Regionals 2 and 3 both went to power. It looks like, yeah, they just can't play at their level unless they're confident, and they are definitely not confident right now.
They've got 2 minutes to find that confidence. They've got 2 minutes to find some goal-scoring opportunities. Nice pass off to Banana Head, but he needed to make contact, and, well, hat-trick for Cash. This one, he did not have to work all that hard for.
Yeah, attempted back pass. Wasn't actually aimed too badly, but Banana Head completely misses the read. And it's not even a ball that you need to be necessarily reading. It's not a bounce he needs to be reading. You could just wait and see where that one goes, but another complete miss from Pioneers. And if they keep going this way, this series is going to be yet another sweep on the mainstream.
Yeah, we definitely switched up from yesterday. V-Stream, rapid fire. Was it about an hour and 20 minutes we had to wait over there for round number 2 to begin? Ixo, oh, he's just waiting for them. And the consideration of heading back on the rotation just got there as and when he wanted to. Pioneers just looking for anything right now, as they can just a reverse sweep in a series that they really have just not shown any life. Cash looking for his 4th.
They're just fully on autopilot right now. There's no direction. The team plays that we're so used to seeing between these guys, the plays that they're setting each other up for success, haven't been a factor. Yeah, if this is the London major, then I think somebody would have been there for that, but they're just not on the same page. They're predictable. Quadrant have just easily countered them anytime they try and make something happen. And it's just been the Cash show in offense. Anything he does just looks unplayable. Pioneers can't stop him with any of their individual players. They don't have the cohesion to stop him as a team. It's as good as game. I think, you know, you wonder what they're looking for. I think probably the forfeit button at this point. Can't do that in RLCS. That would mess with the stats, but they, you know, they might as well.
Messages from a very angry direct very shortly. That was the case. But yes, it has been very much, and I'm going to say this sentence aloud because it was a rough day for him yesterday, exactly as Bates predicted. When he came over to him, he said, one team has got the cannon. They've got Cash. Cash has been the step-up player. He's been the one scoring all the goals. Quadrant 2, KCP 0. KCP have scored 1 goal. in this series so far.
And it wasn't relevant either. It was late in the game when it was already as good as over. I think, did it come after 5-0 if I'm not mistaken? So as good as no goals. We've seen absolutely nothing from KCP that would indicate that they've got any intention of winning today. We've seen more complete whiffs on the ball than we have realistic chances to score. And these are not whiffs that are particularly difficult for players like Pioneers. I mean, what is that from Banana Head? This is a guy that's been credited by many top players live on RLCS during interviews as one of the future players who's going to bring OCE to the top 8 of a tournament. But they're just not able to do it today. And this isn't because they've fallen off. I think it's just fully mental. They're inside their own head. I think they've almost convinced themselves that they're not on form. But whatever they've done coming into this one, it's just been the wrong approach entirely. I think they're just putting too much pressure on themselves.
Yeah.
They've got to just try and enjoy themselves. When they first came onto LAN, you could see how much fun they were having. They were just, so happy to be there and to be playing against the best teams in the world. And they were beating some of the best teams in the world. They were putting up numbers and taking names. And now they just they've come in with the wrong mindset. I think putting far too much pressure on themselves in the most stacked event in Rocket League history.
Well, Pioneers, they need to reverse sweep the Swiss system. They need to reverse sweep Quadrant. Need to reverse the mental as well. Quadrant right now, just keep it going. And you will have punched your ticket to play in front of that crowd. To play in front of Lando Norris, who will be joining us tomorrow. I'm sure he'd be very happy if he at least had a team that was on the broadcast that he's around for. Pioneers would love to spoil that right now. They'd love to turn this and their fortunes right back around and not only let Power be the dominant, but relating Wave. Welcome to the major.
What a read.
That's unreal.
Corner read from Relating Wave at pace. He is showing up huge. We talked yesterday about the lack of offensive fire from Ixo. It's usually Cash and Ixo who are that combination in offense. I mean, Ixo did some work in defense against version 1, but it was mostly Cash who was able to pop off offensively. I mean, maybe as Ixo started to take a back seat, start farming saves, let Wave up front a little bit more. It's for 1-0. It's Relating Wave with a huge goal. That could easily be in a little top 3 tomorrow, depending what else we see on the mainstream.
There's Scrub on the scramble. He's got Lucky right on the side of him, but instead just kind of handed it over, and it's Cash on the ball, the last one they wanted to see. Ixo caught out just a tiny amount. Low boost in field. Cash once again, far too big. Dominus looking mighty in the hands of Cash.
Yeah, you know me, I'm heavily critical of all you ranked teammates playing the Dominus, but Cash,
he's not allowed to play another car.
I don't think I want to see him ever play a different car. I mean, he's just so hard to read. And in pro play, everybody's used to Octanes, everybody's used to Fenix. Not many Dominus players around. So when Cash is coming at you, spinning and spiraling towards the ball, it's something that you're not as used to. Much harder to read, and that's a great beat by Ixo. Cash decides to send it high. That was something Banana Head was ready for this time.
3 minutes left. It is only 1. Cash would like to make it 2. He's saying it's only 1. Is it about to get worse? Yes, it is.
Wow.
Ixo has the post read, and Pioneers now need to score more in this game with this little time left than they have in the entire series.
A nice little touch there from Ixo off the sidewall to bring Wave back into the play. Wave very kindly gives Ixo a goal to join the fray by hitting the post. I'm sure that was intentional. Relating Wave, such a nice guy, such a nice teammate. Yeah, Quadrant will be delighted. The org will be delighted to see how easy it's been for them today. Oh, look at this.
That's so good.
Ixo with a point blank range redirect. That's more awkward to hit than you'd think, especially if you flip. He connects perfectly.
Beautiful camera angle and beautiful angle from Ixo. The double whammy over here. Quadrant 3, Pioneers 0. And for Quadrant, this is big. This needs to be a statement win. Whilst Pioneers have caused their own problems, it is a shark tank in that 1-2 round.
Oh yeah.
You need to be going over there with as much confidence and as much momentum as you can possibly muster.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Quadrant, upon winning this, if they continue to win and do sweep Pioneers out of this, they're right now running into the club. However, that could change to the loser of Team Liquid versus FaZe. I think that crossbar bounce sums up Pioneers Day today. It's all gone wrong. You know, a little bit lower it's in, a little bit higher. It's easier for the follow-up player to get a touch on. Pioneers actually just pre-jumping here. Oh, hold on a second. It almost works. Well, there you go. What do you do when it's all lost? You pre-jump for absolutely no reason. Super lucky flying in behind his teammate for this. And at least that's gotten Quadrant to think, wait, hold on, what's happening? Where's the ball going? It's in the back of your net.
A lot of long-term viewers as well, we do not need to remind you that as much as we have been harping on how dominant Quadrant have been, and wait a second, I'm not going to finish this sentence until this play is done, and that's the reason why.
Tonight.
Well, hope taken away, just like that. Relating Wave not having any of it. That he doesn't want this to be a tight end. He wants this over and done with. And with shots like that, very well should be. Cash, somehow the only one without a goal on Quadrant. I'm sure he would like to change that.
You know, this is just a great chance for Quadrant to build some momentum. They're going to have a very difficult 1 and 2 round elimination match on the stage in front of the big crowd.
We kind of theory crafted this earlier on, Johnny. 1-2 and 2-2 rounds are just going to be some of the most entertaining Rocket League we've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I mean, first time in front of this big crowd. And the 1-2 round is still stacked, already in there. Space Station Gaming, Falcons. You've got the club from South America, #1 team, undefeated team from South America coming in here. The winner of this, G2 Esports, and the loser of FaZe Liquid. That 1-2 round, it contains teams that many people throughout the world were putting in their top 8 coming into this event. And Quadrant, you know, they were the team who were the most doubted coming out of EU. But when they can get it all together, I don't think anyone doubts that they can beat anyone. It's the ability to produce the online level on a LAN setting that's been the question mark. But Quadrant have answered it here, and it's absolutely stomp Pioneers, denying them even a single game victory throughout the entire tournament.
For OCE, a little bit bittersweet here. I'm sure they will absolutely love what Power are doing. They would like to have had a second team. It's been the one thing OCE's always missed. They've always had maybe a team up there, but they've always struggled to add that second one. Does not look like it is going to happen at this tournament either. Ixo, Cash, Relating Wave, they've run rampant. 20 seconds left. And it is World Cup season. One more goal for the Brazil.
I mean, at this point, Pioneers just have to wait for this final 20 seconds of torture to end. It's been a tournament to forget from them, but at the same time, so much to learn from defeats like this. I think Pioneers just have to figure out where it all went wrong mentally, what they can do to show up at the next international event, and I think they will show up at the next international event. They are a phenomenal team. A young team who still can improve so much.
Oh, okay.
Play of the day there, that's fantastic. They don't want to be in this lobby any longer. Just get it over with. Why are you scoring? Just get the ball into the ground. That's the only surface that they care about right now. Pioneers wanted that to be over just as much as Quadrant did.